what's going on? Zyphro7 here, aka Z, and today we're going to be taking a look at the newly released PS-25 from Navigant. And I know this video is a little late, but the shipping of my figure unfortunately got delayed past Christmas, and I couldn't get it up in time. But regardless, here he is, and I am in front of the camera again. It's a little bit easier for me, more concise, and just quicker to get out. If you would like the overlaid effect, be sure to comment down below if you'd like that one instead. Let's get right here started. Let's take a look at our figure. Navigant is of course based on G1 Streetwise as a masterpiece take. I do have Autobot insignias stickered on him. He's got glossy black paint here. I think this is matte plastic. This is what MMC usually uses when doing their figures to minimize paint scratching. Yeah, pretty concise and solid. Here he is from the front, here he is from the back, and I do have another one for the vehicle mode. Unfortunately, it shows off here, but it's not that big and intrusive. On the side, it cleans up really well. And yeah, articulation-wise, at the head, he has got a rotating swivel. Actually, I think it's a ball joint in there, but you can barely get any tiltage out of it, so it's a little rough. You can look up that far because of the transformation joint, and then full 360. Arms, rotate full 360, go out to about 90 degrees. He's got bicep swivel, double jointed elbow for past 90 degrees, wrist swivel, and then the MMC hands, which are a little awkward. Does come with his blaster, which is a little bit bigger than First Aid's pea shooter. Moving along, he has waist rotation, as well as an ab crunch that you can engage. Hip skirts move out on the front, side, and then the back as well, to get forward about that far, back about that far, out to the side a little bit more, and a tight 90-degree bend at the knee. And then at the bottom, you have a slight bit of ankle pivot with the back connected, and then you can undo it and, you know, engage that if you need more, but it doesn't really work that way. Size comparison wise, take a look at Streetwise alongside another of the MP police car bots, Masterpiece Proud. You can see he's a little bit bigger, as most combiner limbs tend to be. Also Streetwise here alongside the leader of the Autobots, who was much taller than him. And finally, Streetwise next to one of his teammates, MMC First Aid. And it actually seems like First Aid is ever bit taller than Streetwise. Alrighty, now that we've gone through all of that, it's time to get down to why he's called a Transformer, and let's get down to his transformation. First step here, we're gonna want to remove the blaster and close up the handle, kind of. And I haven't found an exact storage space for this, but I have found a place you can put it, and I'll show that off later. First step, you're gonna wanna come to the arms, keep his hands open, but the thumb down. Reach your fingernail in here, open up this panel, close this filler panel around and rotate his wrist. And then this filler panel will slide up and flip all the way around so it sits in there just like that. And then his hand will grasp over this panel that was once there. Next, take the side section of the car, rotate it all the way around, and then do that same thing on this arm here. Alrighty, now that we've done that, we can come to his head, and you're gonna use the special joint that they built in for the look up. Slide it down, it'll look all the way up like that. Next, we'll come to the chest, unplug this whole faux section here, and unplug it from the arms as well. And take this whole top part, and it will flip around on a double bar joint in there and peg back into the roof. Just gotta get the tabs underneath everything to sit flush, and then take the light bar and rotate it, and it will scooch ever so slightly more this way towards us. Next, we can come to the back, undo this back panel, fold it up, and here we have some armatures that hold his shoulders in place. Let's open the shoulders like this, and if they're loose like that one or tight like that one, they'll either stay, they just go right down there. Next, we'll take this front bumper, connect it here, and then there's a little hinge joint, which will flip all the way around, just like so. And the hood and all the headlights will line up along that, making it a flush structure. Then we can come to the arms, and then on this bracket near the neck, we'll pull it down, flip the arms 180 degrees, flip the other way. And then this tab will peg into this slot right in there. And whenever you're manipulating the arms after this point, you do want to be careful, because on this one specifically, you'll see I have a bit of a stress mark in on this little tab because I didn't realize what I was doing and accidentally almost snapped it off, which wouldn't have been good. So just keep an eye out for that. Do the same thing on the other side. All right, then we can take the front bumper, front glass here, flip it all the way around. This faux chest will collapse in the inside of the glass. This will accordion up. It doesn't really plug in anywhere yet. And then, oh, I almost forgot to rotate his head 180 degrees as well. My apologies. Then take what was the back and fold it up and around his face, and it will collapse and connect right into place here, and everything will snap and keep in their places. Front windshield will come down and it will sit right there. Next part, we come to the legs, rotate the waist 180 degrees, come down to the legs, and in MMC style, it's gonna kind of explode a little bit. So you'll unpeg this here from the foot. It will flip down and around. You can undo his knee, which is the back of the car, and this whole panel will flip out, along with that kind of ankle pivot, not really. Fold his foot down, take all of this, and all of the door will accordion out. Take his foot, swivel it all the way around, and that'll all plug back in there. And then once you have exploded his leg on one side, you can explode his leg on the other side. And just like that, we have two exploded limbs. Next part of the transformation is connecting the legs, as most Transformers do. Take the legs, and on this outside joint, you'll want to rotate it around. And here is actually where I found like semi-storage for the weapon. It's really just shoving it. It'll be easier to explain if I untab the roof. Closing all this up and collapsing it just like so, and just shoving the gun inside of there and collapsing it. These hook tabs will hook into what were the bottom of the feet. Make sure all the glass is closed, and it'll just sit in that hollow cavity that has been created inside of there. So if you need weapon storage or really want it, you have that option. Next, these panels will fold down and around, making sure that this panel is plugged in and aligned here. All right, and then all of this will close up, hopefully, there we go. And then there are small tabs that I'll tab into this, creating this flush bottom for the vehicle. Next, you want to make sure that the mirrors are flipped out, and then the doors will plug in just like so. Do the same thing on the other side. Make sure you have closed your trunk, kind of trunk. And with all that said and done, there you have Streetwise in his police alt mode. And he is a phenomenal looking police car, if I do say so myself. Streetwise was modeled after the Nissan 300 ZX Turbo, I believe, in the original cartoon and toy. Up here you got your fog lights, turn indicators, brights, and all that. Air scoop, the Nissan logo, the Autobot logo right there that I placed on. Soundbar, his classic star on the side. In the back, you also have taillights picked out, as well as an exhaust tip. And underneath, you even have what I believe are just random car parts. I could be totally wrong. Here he is from the side, the front, top, and he does clean up pretty well. There's not much hiding or showing that's not hiding, besides maybe his chin. And he has 4 rubber tires, so he rolls really well. Size comparisons wise, here he is with his police car brethren. As you can see, scale up just about the size of an MP car. Next, another leader of the Autobots, we have Optimus Prime. And their scaling is not incredibly too far off either, I would say. And finally, here we have Streetwise with his ambulance brother, First Aid. And at a glance, they do look pretty good next to each other. They are a great looking team so far, but I did notice, unfortunately, comparing them wheel to wheel, Streetwise or First Aid is either a little bit oversized or undersized. And I would beg to differ that First Aid is rather, because of how Streetwise scales with his Autobot car brethren. Regardless of scale, the alt mode is neat, but he still has one more mode we can take a look at. To get to that mode, it is probably a good idea to start in vehicle mode. The gun stores in the same place, and a lot of it stems from the car mode. So first step you want to get started with, I come under here and unplug the bottom. Just grab a hold here, and all of this will pop out. It'll pop up first, and then out, just like so. Then we can come to the front of the car, kind of prop up the windshield. Oh, nope. Prop up the windshield, maybe? Or no, I apologize. You have to come in and get the doors first. Pull those out just like so. Then we can come here and pull up the windshield. Next, take a hold of the hood and pull that up and away, just like so. And then the whole neck bracket will come down like so. Then we can come into the arms. Make sure you unplug them before you rotate them to avoid that stress mark. Then these will rotate 90 degrees on the joint closer to the bicep, this pin right here rather than this one. Then you can grab your fingernail in there and lift up this panel just like so, and it will fold down. And then the same tab that plugged in here will plug into a now horizontal tab on the same column. And then this little tab under here will rock up under here. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. Now that we have all that figured out, you can come to the front glass here, flip up what was his faux chest, and then in here, there is a little panel. Let's see if I can get this out. Let me undo some things, I'll get that right back. Alrighty, we're back, and now this little tab has been pulled up, and then that will tab right into that slot to complete the front of hood look, like it's still there, but also shrinking. Then we'll peg the doors right back in, and that will secure the roof. Now we come back around here, and with the front bumper, or the hood rather, you close it up, and the front bumper will stay in its position, but split open like this, not engaging that hinge. And that will allow it to fold in just like so, and you'll feel it kind of thoop into place. And with all that said and done, here we have Streetwise in his shin mode. And it's a shin. We're going to take a more in-depth look at this when we get into combined mode, which we'll just probably clip in here and surround. If you don't know, Hotspot's gonna have this whole armature that holds the foot, which is why the actual combiner foot isn't included with this figure here. With all that being said, let's hop back into robot mode and look at some final thoughts. Now that we've seen both alt modes as well as his robot mode, we're here at final thoughts. And what do I gotta say besides, oh my gosh, MMC knocked it out of the park again. And for only like 97 to 100 and some dollars for a masterpiece figure, wow. The engineering, the articulation, the paint scheme, even though it's mostly plastic, the paint's applied well. The accessories, which I forgot 2 of, he does also come with 2 alternate heads, are just perfect in whatever they need to be. The all-in-one transformation works really well. It has the 2 alt modes. The all-in-one doesn't really come through here as much as someone like First Aid, but it does nail it really well. And I definitely, if you're in the look for a good defense sword that looks G1 accurate in robot, car, and combined mode, the MMC crew is still my #1 pick, as well as the MMC Combaticons being their #1 pick for Bruticus. I can't wait to see how this team shapes up. I'll be here when Blades and Groove and Hotspot come out, and that's pretty much all I have to say. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, and I will catch you all in the next review. Peace out.